We supply who buy. Walk in your trap and take over your drop. Walk in your trap and take over your drop.
What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm Nick, and this is Ballin in the Blitz. The weekend is over. We had a loaded weekend. From college football kicking off to an insane UFC fight, man. Those guys gave the fans exactly what we wanted. Not only that, but I got to kick off my draft in my fantasy football league. I didn't get exactly who I wanted. I did get Lamar Jackson and Debo Samuel, so hopefully those guys give me a dub this year. But yeah, y'all know why y'all here. We're talking UFC, and we got a lot to talk about. Let's get right in it. Tai Tuivasa versus Ciryl Gane was a crazy fight, man. And those guys put on a show. Ciryl Gane did exactly what I thought he was going to do. I did think that he was going to go for the takedown more, but he kept his distance. And it worked for him. He's got like a whole foot of reach on this guy. So he kept his distance and he threw the jab a whole lot and he landed every time almost. And it was pissing Tai off. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if that was Tai's downfall or what. Honestly, there was a time in the fight that Tai had got hit in the stomach a couple times. And I think that really threw Tai off. But we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, Ciryl Gane kept his distance. I did say that he was going to wrestle more. Now, early on in the fight, Gane went for the takedown, and it didn't go well for him. So I think at that point, he realized this is about to be a brawl. He's going to have to go toe-to-toe with this guy. Now, I don't blame Gane, because Tai, he's a whole lot heavier than I thought he was. There was an interview I read. I didn't see this before the fight, but there was an interview I read this morning that Tai told the interviewer he usually walks around at 298 pounds. I mean, that's like a bear coming at you throwing elbows. So yeah, Gane attempted the takedown and it was not successful. So after that, they went toe to toe, and Tai struggled. He really did. He struggled landing the shots. He landed that one shot though. I give him that. He landed that one shot. No one's ever knocked Gane down. He landed that one shot on Gane, and he was able to knock him down. At that point, I thought it was over. I was like, oh my God, Tai's about to win this fight. He's about to beat Ciryl Gane. He's on to go fight Francis, All he had to do was rush him a little bit earlier, get him on the ground, after he knocked him down, just end it. He wasn't able to, but the knockdown was crazy. It was like some kind of like uppercut hook. And y'all check the clip out.
Cause you to be a little reckless and make mistakes.
I mean, bro, he should have just ended it right there. I don't see how he didn't end it. I mean, guess it wasn't enough because Gane was able to get up, regain himself, and come at Tai. He landed a crazy, nasty stomach shot. That was the shot I was just talking about. He landed, I think it was like a knee to the stomach, and that really messed Tai up. You could tell he was feeling that one. He started to back off a little bit because Tai was pushing the whole fight until about there. I mean, after the round was over, Tai went back to pushing, and I think that was pretty dumb. I think Tai should have been playing a little smarter, playing a little bit more on the defensive side, being that Gane has the reach. I mean, I get it. He has to get more in the clinch because that's the only way he was going to win. But, I mean, if this guy is kicking you in the stomach, I mean, you might want to back off just a little bit, But Tai was trying to get that shot. He knew he had him with that first shot when he landed it in the stomach. But, yeah. Other than that, man, Tai, he just looked gassed. We never seen Tai after the third round, and we finally got to see it, and he just looked tired. He wasn't able to, continue on fighting. I mean, he still was a dog out there. He still was throwing punches, doing his thing, but he just looked gassed. Now, there was one part of the fight where I had seen that Tai, he got kicked in the head pretty hard. And at that point, I was like, okay, this fight's over. Tai's gassed. Tai's got kicked in the stomach several times, and now he just got hit with a nasty headshot, and he's doing this like wobble thing, just like out of there. Now later on, I look at the clip again, and it almost looks like he faked it. And I see everybody on Twitter, on Instagram, everybody's talking about it, saying that Tai faked being like wobbling, so that way Gane can rush him and he could come out and just throw this haymaker, and he did. Y'all check it out.
Think that he just takes the.
I mean, am I wrong? Y'all see it. So he threw a crazy hook at Gane, and Gane was able to duck it, and then Gane threw a shot, and Tai was able to duck it. So I don't know, man. If you wobble someone like that, I don't know if they'll be able to shake out of it that quick and throw a hook, and then the other person throw a hook, and he's able to duck that hook. I don't know. That's just me. That's my opinion. That's what I think. And a lot of other people are saying the same thing. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, he I just think Tai should have played more safe, man. He was relying on that one shot way too much. And we said this, Francis is stronger than Tai, and Francis didn't even go in there doing that. Francis's ball game was, I'm going to wrestle this guy, and I'm going to beat him like that. And we get it, Tai is probably not, so much of a wrestler. He's not that in shape as in Francis. But he went in there saying, look, dude, I'm strongest. I'm the strongest in the heavyweight, and I'm going to knock this guy out. He put him on his ass. That's word for Gane. Put him on his ass, and but it just wasn't enough. Fight was way better than I expected, though, man. I respect Tai. Tai is a dog, man. He's a brawler for real. But I don't know what's next for these guys. I honestly think that Ciryl Gane, he needs that fight too with Francis. I mean, there's no other fight for Francis. Everyone's saying everyone see John Jones fight Francis, and but I mean, I don't see, that's pretty dumb. I don't see why John Jones can come back to the UFC like that and get this big, heavyweight title fight, and just that easily. Like, nah, dude, you gotta fight someone else first before you go and fight the champ. So yeah, Ciryl Gane should fight Francis. They should get that second fight, and I know Francis knows that's what's about to happen. It's probably gonna go down soon. But yeah, Tai on the other hand, what's next for Tai? John Jones and him were going back and forth. He showed some messages between him and John Jones. John Jones had told him in a DM that knock this guy out, win the fight, and maybe you can fight me. And he didn't know if he was just being friendly or he was just talking mess. But after the fight, John Jones decided to go to Twitter and delete it. John Jones and his Twitter fingers. He went on there and said, I said win the fight. So I don't know. They had this thing going back and forth. So we don't know if we'll see John Jones and Tai Tuivasa. But being that he lost, I don't know if John Jones wants that. It sounds like John Jones wants someone that's really, really up there. And I mean, not to say that Tai isn't up there, but it sounds like he wants, someone like Francis. He wants Francis, or maybe even Stipe. We haven't seen Stipe in a while. Everyone seems to forget about Stipe. That's the fight that John Jones and Dana White's been talking about. Dana White's been talking about John Jones versus Stipe. I don't know if we'll see that. But yeah, Tom Aspinall and Curtis Blaydes, though. I mean, those guys are up there too. Those are two fighters that, what are we going to do with them? So I don't know if Tai can get John Jones or Tom Aspinall, maybe Curtis Blaydes. Are we going to see Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes again? Now, my opinion, I still think that we should continue on doing John Jones versus Stipe. That was the original agreement. Let's make that fight happen, right? I want to see that. I haven't seen Stipe in a while. They said that he's in a whole lot better shape. He's really been training hard. He's kept quiet. And same thing for John Jones. I don't know about keeping quiet, but dude's out there training hard. He looks big. I mean, I've seen him. He's trying to get up to that heavyweight. And I think that'd be a really good fight. Now, Tai Tuivasa, on the other hand, I think Tai Tuivasa, I don't know. I think he should fight Curtis Blaydes. But then something tells me that Curtis Blaydes and Tom Aspinall need to run that back because Tom Aspinall got hurt really, really early on that fight. So maybe the winner out of those two goes and fights Tai, and then they go fight Ciryl Gane. I don't know. The heavyweight, it's getting good in the heavyweight, right? Like, we got some fighters, man. I'm excited. We'll see what happens, but yeah. Moving on to Joe Rogan and that Usman podcast. I don't know if y'all seen that yet, but I was watching a little bit of clips of that, and bro, I respect Usman. I mean, he took an L, and he took it like a champ. I mean, this dude the whole time was just humble about it. Like, he was just like explaining, like, dude, it was a relief. Like, he felt so much pressure, and he was saying this before the fight. Like, being a champ for so long, everyone's just on you. Like, oh, can you beat this guy? Oh, he beats that guy. Oh, can you beat this guy? Oh, he beats that guy. Oh, you can't knock nobody out. Knocks out Masvidal. Oh, you can't wrestle. Out wrestles the so-called best wrestler in UFC, Covington, right? So he said it was a big relief, after losing, and he regained that like fighter mentality, like he wants to stay, and obviously he wants his rematch with Edwards. He was talking about at the end of the fight, he was trying to set Edwards up, right, for that knockout. He wasn't just trying to win. I guess he wasn't trying to win by decision. He wanted to set him up. He explained something about his feet and just trying to get that right shot and trying to do him like he did Masvidal. Did not work for him. Edwards as y'all seen, he landed a nasty head kick on him and put him out, lights out. He goes on to explain in the podcast that Edwards gave him a 20-minute nap that he didn't come to realization. He didn't come to his senses until he was in the ambulance. He said the ambulance looked at him and was like, hey, man, do you know where you're at? And then he said that's when he woke up and was like, oh, this guy just gave me a 20-minute nap. So, yeah, man, that whole podcast was pretty interesting because then he goes on to start talking about his road, right? Like, what's he want next, if he was to beat Edwards. So he said, basically, this is how he wanted to plan out. He wanted to defend against Edwards, go up to light heavyweight. Now, the reason behind it is he said he doesn't want to stay in, he wants to skip middleweight because he doesn't want to fight Izzy. So he doesn't want to go to 185, he wants to go to 205, which is a crazy weight to go up to, being that Usman's fighting at like 170, 175. That's crazy. So he wants to go up to light heavyweight at 205, beat Yari, and then defend against Jan, and then go back down to 170, defend against Hamzat, and then maybe, before he retires, get a crazy cash fight against Conor or box Canelo, and then cash out and retire. And that was the road. I mean, obviously, he goes on and says that that's not the road anymore, being that he lost to Edwards. He wants his rematch against Edwards and just go from there. But yeah, man, I thought when he explained that, I was like, wow, I did not know that he had plans to go up to light heavyweight. It's crazy. 205, I don't know about that. Going from 170 to 205, I mean, maybe Usman looks like maybe he can do that. But those guys are scary, man. Light heavyweight, those are some big dudes. I mean, Yari ain't no joke, and so isn't Jan. Then let's not forget about Glover. But yeah, I thought that whole interview was interesting. But yeah, before we end the podcast, man, I wanted to show y'all this little clip of who was it? Shane Gillis. He's a comedian, and he was on a podcast that I heard the other day, and he was talking about he was hanging out with Nate Diaz, said he was a big fan of Nate Diaz. He was finally able to hang out with him, and he said that he went in and had a couple drinks with Nate Diaz. And so he said he's out, and he says that Nate Diaz out of nowhere just like starts fighting this big dude. Y'all just listen to the clip real quick.
Everybody that comes up, he's like, let's get a picture. Yeah, fuck you. Like all that. And then one dude walked up that was like jacked. And Nate Diaz just immediately was like, yo, you want to run up on us? As soon as Nate called him out, obviously the dude's like,
right. Then
what's
he gets
up?
on, yeah.
And Nate immediately is like, yo, what's up? And then obviously his boys jumped in and like pulled him apart. While they were pulling him apart, he threw a front kick. And I was just standing there like, yo. And he connected on this dude's hip, which just made him lose. Like, he just flew everywhere.
At any given moment, someone's
grappling. In the
grappling.
squad was wrestling. What's his name? Marvin Vittori was with us also. He was like the middleweight or whatever. He's a beast.
Yeah,
he was with us like, don't fuck with me. Like, he like spoke. When we went back to his house, it was an Airbnb of like 8 dudes. All they had was like a laptop plugged into a shitty TV, just blasting rap music.
Yes.
I mean, bro, like, Nate Diaz is wild, man. You can't sleep on Nate Diaz. And I don't know if I can hang out with that guy. After hearing that, I was like, dude, I'm not trying to get into all that. But yeah, man, I thought that was pretty funny. I just thought I showed y'all that clip real quick, being that this weekend is going down. Nate Diaz versus Hamzat Chimaev. I'm excited. Hamzat's one of my favorite fighters, and so is Nate Diaz. So it's really hard to pick who I want to win out of that. I want Nate Diaz to win just because I've been a huge fan of Nate Diaz. I just like the dog mentality of just, I don't care about nobody. And then I also like Hamzat. I think, I like that, that mentality of just like, I beat everybody, I kill everybody, right? And, but we'll talk about that fight more in a couple days. We'll do another podcast on that fight before it starts up. But yeah, man, y'all go like and subscribe. I appreciate it for y'all tuning in. And this is Ballin in the Blitz.
Walk in your trap and take over your drop. Walk in your trap and take over your drop.